Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be all about the brand new champagne collection with Becca and Jaclyn Hill. Now basically all these products have not yet been released. I believe they are releasing on May 26th. So I have the full champagne collection here to talk about with you guys. I'm going to be giving you guys a first look, swatches, my thoughts and all that stuff, and wait for it. At the end of the video, I do actually have a giveaway for you guys. I actually bought an extra champagne collection face palette and I'm going to be giving away a champagne pop as well. If you'd like to know how to enter the giveaway, I'm going to be talking more about it more at the end of the video. But first, let's get into the actual collection review. So if you're not aware, Jaclyn released Champagne Pop probably about a year ago, and this was her original product that she released with Becca. So basically, Becca and Jaclyn have sort of just expanded the champagne collection and have come out with a liquid version of the Champagne Pop, cream version, as well as an eyeshadow palette and a face palette. So let's first start talking about what I think is probably the most exciting product in this collection, and that is the Champagne Glow face palette. What I really like about these types of face palettes that sort of contain both highlighters and blushes is that you're able to mix the colors together to almost create your perfect shades, and you could really get a lot of different looks with just this one palette. So for example, you can mix the highlighters together to create a whole new shade. You could also mix the highlighters with the blushes. You could mix the blushes together. So it's just really nice to sort of have everything all in one place. The palette is also designed really, really beautifully. It's about the size of the palm of my hand, and considering how much product you get in here, I would say that it's a really, really nice size. This palette is also really, really nice for travel because you have your highlighters and your blushes in here, and it's a very well-designed palette that's not gonna open up and sort of break and go all over your suitcase. So inside of this palette, you have, of course, the 2 highlighters and then 3 different blushes with 3 different formulas. So let's talk about each specific shade. So of course, you have Champagne Pop, which is right over here. Now, if you're not familiar, Champagne Pop is a really beautiful, very soft peachy shade that has a little bit of a gold to it. What I really like about Champagne Pop is I do find that it really does complement a very wide variety of skin tones. The only thing I would say is that if you're very, very fair and you tend to sort of go towards highlighters that are a little bit more white-based, because these types of highlighters just sort of look like a colored stripe on the tops of your cheekbones, then these 2 highlighters probably would not be the best for you if you are extremely fair. However, I do think that these highlighters are beautiful to use almost as cheek toppers. So just to add a little bit of color to your cheeks and also a little bit of glow. And then right next to Champagne Pop is Prosecco Pop. This is a brand new highlighter that has not been yet released. And I really, really, really hope that they're going to take this out of the palette and make it permanent, because it's probably one of my favorite new highlighters that I have found. It is just the perfect gold highlighter. I have been looking for the perfect gold highlighter for a really long time. Being more on the fairer side, it's difficult to find a gold highlighter that's not going to look like, again, I have a gold stripe right on the tops of my cheekbones, but this highlighter is just perfect because it's not too yellow, it's not too brassy, it's just the perfect shade that really just gives you that beautiful golden glow without it looking like you have a gold stripe. So if you've never tried a Becca highlighter, let me just paint you a picture. They are very, very buttery, very creamy. When you touch them, they feel extremely, extremely smooth and very finely milled. Their powder highlighters are really not what you would call subtle. They really do give you a very intense glow, but because of their texture, they do not look shimmery or chunky. They really just sit on the skin so perfectly. Only negative thing that I would have to say is that when you touch your brush to the powders, there is a little bit of powder fallout. When you touch it, powder sort of comes off a little bit. Not the biggest deal in the world. I just sort of want to mention that in case that is your biggest pet peeve ever. So like I said, there are 3 blushes in here and each of them have a different texture. So this one over here called Pamplemousse, really, really beautiful bright coral shade, and this is in a satin texture. So this has a little bit of a sheen to it. It's not completely matte, whereas this one in the center called Amaretto, which is more of a neutral blush, is completely matte. And then at the end, you have Rosé Spritz, which is more of a shimmery blush topper. So you could either apply this, let's say, on top of Pamplemousse if you want a little bit of a sheen, or you could apply it by itself. I would say that my favorite blush in this palette is definitely Rosé Spritz. It almost reminds me of Orgasm from NARS, but a much better Orgasm from NARS, because I find Orgasm is a little bit chunky, but it still has that really beautiful peachy pink shade with that gold sheen. But this one is just completely smooth, and honestly the texture is way better in my opinion. Amaretto, which is the matte shade in the collection, is what I'm wearing on my cheeks today. I do really, really love that one as well. I think it's really pretty to use when you are wearing a lot of color on your eyes or on your lips, but you don't want your blush to sort of compete. This is a really, really beautiful shade to use. Now the thing about Becca blushes is that they are really, really pigmented and really really, really intense. Like I'm saying, a little bit goes a long way. When you take your brush, you do not want to like go like this into the powder. You really just want to tap it, tap off the excess, and then apply it, because these types of blushes are the types of blushes that will give you clown cheeks if you apply it too much. I also think for the price, it's $59 Canadian, probably around $49 US. You really do get a lot of bang for your buck, especially considering you're paying $10 less for one single highlighter from Becca, and you get 2 highlighters and 3 blushes in here is a really, really fantastic deal. That is it for that palette. So now let's move on to the eyeshadow palette. So here we have the Champagne Collection eyeshadow palette. This palette contains 5 different shades. You have 3 mattes and then 2 shimmery shades over here. I really enjoy Becca eyeshadows. They're very similar to their other powders in that they're very smooth, pigmented, easy to blend. They're just really great all around eyeshadows. Their mattes are very buttery, their shimmers are very intense, and that's all I could really ask for in an eyeshadow palette. So I do really like these. This shade right over here called Chardonnay is such a beautiful white gold shade. I've been using this nonstop since I got this palette in my inner corner of my eye, and it just creates that really, really intense glow. So honestly, I would just buy this palette just for this shade because it is just so good. I honestly would consider it to be very, very close to Nylon from MAC, which I'm honestly not so surprised about, because if you watch Jaclyn's videos, she always talks about Nylon from MAC and how that's her favorite highlighting shade. Then you have this shade right next to it, which is called Champagne Toast. This is a really, really pretty, very soft, bronzy gold shade. Then we have Cordial, which is a really pretty soft mauve pink shade. Probably another one of my favorites in this palette is Cognac. I never know how to say this word. I really hope I'm saying that right. But it's a really nice warm, but not too warm, medium brown shade. And then at the end over here, there's a really pretty, very soft purpley gray shade. What's really nice about this palette is that it's pretty versatile. You can really get really beautiful everyday looks with it, and you can also sort of deepen up your look and get more of like a nighttime smoky look with it with these 2 shades over here. So I think that if you're looking for a really nice type of everyday palette that sort of has everything all in one place, you've got your lid shade, highlight shade, you got some crease shades, then this is a really, really great option. Now, this is something that honestly I was personally very excited about, and this is the Champagne Pop Liquid Highlighter. Since Jaclyn released the Champagne Pop Press, I always said, oh my god, I really, really, really hope that one day they're going to release the color in a liquid. So the shade of this liquid highlighter is basically Champagne Pop Liquefied. It is a soft peachy shade with a little bit of gold in it. I love liquid highlighters because you could really go for more of a natural look by just sort of applying it by itself, and it just creates a really, really pretty subtle glow. Or you could really intensify your highlighter and layer it with the liquid first and then the powder second, and you will get a super crazy intense glow. What's also really nice about liquids is that you're able to mix it in with your foundation if you want an all-over glow to your face. Last but not least, you've got the cream version of Champagne Pop. Now, I would say that the cream version is almost like a very, very subdued, more downplayed version of Champagne Pop. I would say that it's definitely not quite as intense as the powder or even the liquid. This is the type of highlighter that, again, I would suggest to use if you want something that's not so in your face. I do really like cream highlighters because they're very, very easy, especially for every day. You basically just put your finger in the product and then tap it on the tops of your cheekbones or wherever you want the product. And so I do really like this more for everyday use or when I want more of a subtle glow, but when you want something that's really, really intense, then I would definitely go for the powder version instead. All right, guys, so that is basically it for my first look and review of the Champagne Glow collection. So now let's talk about that giveaway that I mentioned earlier in the video. So like I said, I actually picked up a Champagne Collection face palette, and I have a Champagne Pop, of course. I had to give that away as well. Now, I have used this method in all my other giveaways and it's been very, very successful, so I'm going to be using it again. Basically, I'm going to be using a website called Gleam. It really keeps track of everybody who's entered, and it also sort of gives you the option to do extra entries by completing different tasks. So you're gonna click the link in the description box and it's gonna bring you to a separate page. If you're already subscribed to my channel, great. All you gotta do is sort of just fill out your info and it will see that you're subscribed, and then it will enter you into the giveaway. If you're not subscribed to my channel, then of course you need to be subscribed in order to enter the giveaway. There will also be different tasks that you can complete in order to give yourself extra entries into the giveaway. So for example, follow me on Instagram will give you an extra entry. So now as for the basic rules, this is going to be an international giveaway, so everybody from all over the place can enter. Also, if you're under 18, please get a parent's or a guardian's permission. This giveaway will last a week, so it will end next Monday. And also, I do want to mention and stress that this winner is going to be picked completely completely randomly. I will also contact the winner by email, and I will announce the name of the winner in the description box of this video next week. So that's basically it. So good luck if you're going to be entering the giveaway, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to give it a big thumbs up if you did, and of course let me know what you thought in the comments, and subscribe if you're not subscribed already, and I will see you guys next time. Bye. Love you. Hey guys, welcome back. Today's video is going to be all about my dry skin girls. Now, I think I get asked honestly in almost every single video and on Twitter